Hello folks, it's me again Tabo, and welcome to another web devlog on Threejs. Okay, looking at all that I've done so far, I decided that I needed to spruce up my platform. The main idea that I had was to create a pond surrounding the main statue. So I went ahead and created some designs, and the one design that I liked was of a triangular shaped pond. At the corner of the triangle, then I would create geometry shaped stones, which I would place at every corner. This seemed to be a good idea, and I could imagine it looking well and complementing the whole thing. So I decided to give it a thumbs up and opened up Blender and started modeling. One of my design processes is to look at old designs and see how I could reuse some parts of them. I decided to take the old header design and convert it into a simplified 3D version. The intention is to use it in the gallery section or the about section. So as you enter the about space, this would be the first thing that you would see above you. It will serve as the first attraction before you get to see the rest of the pieces in the gallery. Another idea that I had for the main platform was cobblestone tiles. I wanted simple cobblestone tiles. So I went online to look for some textures. I found one that works. I just mapped it on the surface. I created 4 different tiles, then I combined them. I used the curve modifier, created a circle, and then used that circle to place it along its curves. Once I had satisfying results, I just copied it, created different offsets so that the pattern was not recognizable. Then I created enough copies to be able to cover the surface that I intended to. And this is the final result. Designing the gallery was rather challenging. I had to think a lot about how to go about doing it. Originally, I intended on using models, but then I don't have time to model. I had images that I used in my previous website. I wanted to use these images. I looked for a program that I could generate models just using images. Tried one, it did not give me the results that I wanted. Then the next solution was to create busts. I decided, let me just create busts because I already have the images. All I need to do is just make displacement maps out of them. So I did that roughly, took them to Blender, started sculpting, and I learned how to retopologize in Blender in the process. So I retopologized them and then placed them back into the scene. Placed some spotlights on them, and overall, I was happy with the results that I got. Okay, so here we are. After all that hard work, this is what the level looks like. As you can see, I've got my cobblestone effect. It took a while, but eventually I'm happy with the way that it looks. There's still some little bits that I'm missing in terms of, sprucing it up, adding a bit of green around the spaces just to fill in between, and also some plants. So there's still a lot to be done. As you can see, I've got my tree over here with the blocks growing on it. Yeah, so far I think I'm happy with the way things look. I mean, I kept it very simplistic, and you must take into consideration that at the moment I don't have any shadows, so it's quite plain. But overall, I think I'm okay with the way things are, and the performance is not too bad, considering that I've got quite a bit of geometry. And these spheres that are floating around, well, this is a result of a failed experiment. But I just kept them on because they make things look interesting. As you can see, as I was entering the space, then the bloom effect just went on. This is what I was talking about earlier, using a bit of math to calculate the distance so that when I'm within a certain radius, then the bloom effect will be turned on. This will be dark. This is not the light that I'm going to be using at the moment. I've got a fill light which is lighting the entire space. So this part will only be lit by spotlights, which will be focused on the 3 busts that are there. So the whole room will be dark so that when the hologram effect comes, then that will be the main attraction. And it's going to look better with the bloom effect because then everything will just be glowing beautifully in the dark. So that is what I'm actually planning on doing. But at the moment, I can say I'm fine with the way that things look. It doesn't look too bad, and you will see as I exit that the bloom effect will turn off. So I will just show you as I exit the space. Okay, so look right now, this is what is happening. Yeah, this is also what I meant about the space being blown out, because everything looks really white because of the bloom effect, but that will not be the case. So yeah, I'm gonna do another test run. Okay, so here we go again. This is the second time round, and this time I also adjusted the fill light so that it also turns off when I enter the gallery space. So you will see what the overall idea is. It's not exactly how it's supposed to be, but it will give you a good idea of what the bloom effect is supposed to look like in a dark space. As you can see, everything is glowing in an interesting way, and it also makes the projection space a lot more prominent, which is what the whole idea is. You know, this space in the middle with the hologram, this is what's supposed to actually catch more of your eye. So at the moment, I think it's kind of doing the job. So there's still a lot to be done, but overall I can say it's getting there. And I must say, even though these spheres are not supposed to be here, I kind of like what they do to the space. They're not going to be there, or maybe I might come up with an interesting way of using something like that. But so far, like I said, it's an accident. I just left them there because, well, that's me. I'm just a messy kind of guy. But originally, this is not supposed to be there, and in the final thing, it will definitely not be there. But maybe I could use it in another interesting way. So overall, I'd say, yeah, this is what I'm meant to achieve. There's still a lot to be done, like I said before, but I think we're getting there. Okay, so I think this was it for this web devlog, and with all that said, I'm gonna say love and peace. I'll see you in the next one. I'm out.